Well, welcome back. I'm Dr. Marilyn Carroll, and welcome back to our course. We are on chapter 12 now, research, business proposals, and planning for business reports. And again, this is coming to you from the publisher, McGraw-Hill, who published the book Business Communications, um, in developing, leaders. So let's get started. I'll share my monitor. I hope you guys are doing great. This has been a whirlwind adventure. So business communication, developing leaders for a networked world. And so this is chapter 12. And the author of the book is Peter Cordone. And this week, our learning objectives are explain how planning and conducting business research for reports impacts your credibility. Yes, it does. Create research objectives that are specific and achievable. Explain principles of effective design for survey questions and choices, as well as we'll discuss develop charts and tables to concisely display data and accentuate key messages. This is followed by evaluate the usefulness of data resources or data sources for business research, conduct secondary research to address a business problem, and evaluate research data, charts, and tables for fairness and effectiveness. I am very passionate about doing research, and since I learned how to do research, it has had a tremendous impact on my life and how I see things and my stress level. Yes, believe it or not, stress levels, because instead of taking what people say, I have an opportunity to dissect information through research. So let's get started. So analyzing your audience for business reports. Developing research-based business reports, in developing them, you must first identify what decision makers want to accomplish. You start this by considering your target audience of decision makers' primary business goals, research objectives, and expectations. And as you gather information through your primary research, you're doing analysis of the data that people from your organization or others under your direction have collected. Now, generally the most useful for business generally the most useful for business reports. And then you're looking at common types to include analysis of internal data, survey research, focus group interviews, and case studies. There's also secondary research where the analysis of the data collected by others with no direction from you or members of your organization that you may bring into fold. So survey research increasingly is common because of the ease of administering online surveys. It generally involves written questions, closed questions, open-end questions. So creating research objectives, the less effective way is to determine how satisfied our conference guests are. This objective is not specific enough. The statement does not lead to a focused approach to research. A more effective way would be determine guest satisfaction among conference attendees for key conference amenities and services. Now, this objective is specific. The statement leads to a focused approach to research. Here's another one, understanding VR technologies. This objective is not specific, it's too broad and lacks context. A more effective way of putting this would be to identify use cases of market demand for VR technologies in group tourism. Now, the objective is specific and it focuses on the context that is related to the Air Casas tours. I don't know anything about these tours, but we'll see. So create surveys, online surveys. You can quickly get the response of dozens, if not hundreds of colleagues, current or potential customers, or members of other groups of interest. You can dump the data into a spreadsheet. So principles of survey questions include simple to answer. They must be simple to answer. They're non-leading, they're exhaustive and ubiquitous, and limited to a single idea. Now, they should be simple to answer. Should contain short questions and short response options. Read in 10 to 20 seconds per question. Answer in a few seconds. True, true, true. Anything more than that, people have to think too much, and you're not going to get the most honest answer, more than likely. So creating a simple survey question. So here's some examples. Less effective on a scale from 1 to 4. 1, not satisfied, to 4, extremely satisfied. How satisfied were you in the following areas related to your conference experience? If you have no opinion or did not use the following services, simply mark NA. Now, the question has words, they're long words, and many of the respondents will be confused about how to answer the questions without labels for the numerical values. So here's another example of how we do this. Take a look at this, and I won't read through these, but I want you to take a look at it. You know, how satisfied were you with the following aspects of your conference experience? The questions contain 12 words. Formatting and labels allow respondents to quickly, precisely process the information. So this is better than the previous one we had that had too many words in it. You see how much better that looks? So less effective is this ranking. Look at all those words. Now, more effective way, look at this. Now look at this one. Just to look at it seems better, right? Right. I know. So you can take a look at how they position those. But the whole point here is to get you to see that you can do a better job, or we all can do a better job with our survey questions if we just list them in the right way. So survey questions should be non-leading. Do not answer a question, otherwise it will produce unreliable and unusable information. So here's, take a look at this, creating non-leading survey questions. We have less and we have the more effective. And in the more effective, I see it's just, you see that it's less words and it gets straight to the point instead of going all over the place. Wow, yeah. So moving on. Survey choices should be exhaustive and ubiquitous. Okay, exhaustive. All possibilities are available. Only one choice is available. Survey questions should contain one idea. So creating the two, here we go. You see that? More effective. Every time we have less wording under these. And so you want to take a look at them and see how you would structure a survey question. Why don't you take a stab at a survey question? Creating survey questions with a single idea. Here you go. Here's 2 respondents knows about possible savings in greens. Okay, now how much do you know about green meeting options for your business? This is, I mean, look at these questions, guys. This is quite interesting. So you always want to analyze your data. So here's some advice for analyzing data. Learn about forecasting and other forms of statistical and quantitative analysis. Learn about spreadsheet, database, and statistical software. Rely on others in your analysis. Stay focused on your business problem and look for the big picture. Communicate with others on this. Statistics and figures don't overload your audience members with data. Focus on the main non-numerical message. Design effective charts. Charts can express a strong message and leave a lasting visual impression on viewers and readers. Have the potential to draw readers into a document or presentation almost instantaneously, and planning is key. So we have line charts. They're useful for depicting events and trends over time. And then we have pie charts, are useful for illustrating the pieces within a whole, versus a bar chart, which is useful to compare amounts or quantities. So these are very interesting, and a lot of times people don't understand these. Line charts, the difference between line charts, pie charts, and bar charts, and what they're great for. Remember, line charts are good for depicting events and trends over time because you can see a trend line in the line charts. And pie charts are useful for illustrating the pieces within a whole. And then the bar chart is useful for comparing amounts of quantities. So here's some creative, how to create effective charts. Here's some criteria. Title, descriptiveness, focal points, information sufficiency, ease of processing, and takeaway message. So look at these. We have staff and service ratings. We have these line charts here. Improvement staff over time. Do you see how these effective line charts are? This is staff and service ratings in one way. And then the more effective way to show this would be here, and with your trend lines and decreases in it, and what you're seeing. What happened with this one? The reason it was up, then it went down, then it went back up. This is prevalent to anyone looking at this, because this is a focal point of discussion. And when I'm discussing the Presidio, I can say, or this improvement in staff, Presidio had something going on. What was there that this had going on, Presidio had going on, that was different from Great Falls, Grand Swan, and Wyatt? Design and formatting of line charts this is how you would do it. Non-descriptive, bland title. It doesn't not tie to the less effective way. The way you want to do these title descriptiveness is title and subtitle focus on the intentional improvement focal point. The call-out boxes focus attention on the staff and service initiatives as the cause of rising customer satisfaction. A darker, thicker line with a bold label draws attention to the Presidio data and series, as I stated on the prior chart. So there's ease of processing and takeaway message. So there's always a takeaway message in these charts and that you want to discuss with people. So let's look at the pie chart. The pie charts is part of a whole. So this discusses, here's the whole conference attendees, and here are the people at the conference and how they were segmented 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, no purchase of internet. So here's the outcome of that. So what is it? What is it that we're trying to get at here that that we want to know? Those who attended the 3-day conference seem to do better, or those who was only there 1 day didn't get as much from it? What are we trying to get at here? So the primary focal point is the slice highlighting those not purchasing any internet services. It is labeled more effectively, no purchase of internet. And so that was the big part of the pie. So as aspects of the chart collectively demonstrate that conference attendees are unlikely to purchase internet services from that. So let's look at the bar chart and how the bar chart looks. Less effective dining rates and then leading way to dining. So you see that this is Presidio, and you have a more, a higher, that has more bars or greater significance with a 3.93 rating on it, leading the way to dining. So you're gonna get Presidio, there's something about Presidio versus the others, and your conference or your attendees going to know more about what happened here, what were the differences. So those are things. Please take a moment to read over each of the charts and see the overarching process or messages that the charts provide. So formatting guidelines, all charts. Ensure that all data is appropriately labeled. Avoid using too many bright colors. They can be distracting. Use darker colors to represent your most important data series. Avoid unusual fonts or too many special effects. Avoid 3D charts. Ensure that all text is horizontal. And avoid white type on dark backgrounds in most cases. They're bad. Now for lines, as far as a line chart is concerned, scale should be about 2/3 of the range, including the chart, and series names should be placed on or attached directly to the lines, and only 4 or fewer data series lines should be included. On the pie charts, the largest slice should begin at 12 o'clock and go clockwise. Second largest slice should begin at 12 o'clock and go counterclockwise. Exploding slices should be used sparingly. High slices should complete a whole and add up to 100% of the data series. The bar, as far as a bar chart is concerned, bars should be about twice the width of the space in between the bars. Baseline should always be 0, and bars should be arranged in an ascending or descending order in most cases, and the legend should only be used if the chart has 2 or more data series. Now, you may be wondering, how in the heck am I going to design this chart? Well, Excel is one I'm more familiar with. When I use Excel to design most of my charts. If any of you have taken stats, most of us have. And in stats, we learn how to design bar charts using various mechanisms. Excel was one, and there are some other newer technologies that you could probably use to design your bar charts. But all in all, you want to make sure that those bar charts, that you put the data into a recognizable system and then go over. And in Excel, I know for sure, because I have more experience with that, you can design those bar, it'll design the bar charts or line chart or pie chart for you. And so you can take these results, this would be in an Excel format, for example, and you could put this in a chart. It'll be on Excel, and then you can use it to highlight the areas you want to show up on your chart. The same here on internet purchases. So please read over these because we have to, based on the author feels as though these things are very important for us to do that. And so you just, again, I would say if you haven't taken a class in Excel on how to do charts, I would do that. A lot of classes are online. You can take a quick class online on how to do bar charts. You can type into YouTube, how do I build charts using Excel? Or how do I use charts using whatever systems that you have in play that you're going to be using, all right? Gathering information through secondary research. So avoid settling on your topic too quickly and pace your research. Choose your topic strategically, define the scope of your project, and find ways to make your research more analytical. Talk to others who can help you. Important issues in evaluating data. The reliability, guys, is important. Relevance is important. Adaptability is important as well. Expertise and not having biases, okay? Secondary research sources, white papers are great for this, industry publications, business periodicals, scholarly journals, external blogs, and business and management books, okay? There are strengths and limitations of data quality for primary and secondary research. So you wanna look at this chart and you see biases for primary research is goal and persisting pre-existing notions of the researcher. The white paper is organizational missions and objectives is usually coming through is the bias of white papers. Industry publications, mission of the publication's editing team is where you're going to find biases there. And business publication, mission of the publication, editing team, their biases are going to be there. Scholarly journals, theoretical significance. So we have different people. That's why we'll say use scholarly journals for your papers and when you're writing in class, because we want you to get the true facts. Remember, facts. We want you to get the facts, all right? External blogs, wikis, and other websites, writers' career objectives are usually where we see the biases. And business book, the latest, greatest idea mentality, easy fixes. And they're not necessarily easy fixes, but if they're not based on research and scholarly significance, that was part of their book writing process, we're going to have some challenges there. So you want to conduct your library research, library sources, books across a wide range of disciplines and topics, digital resources, company and industry reports and scholarly journals, online databases. And so if you're at any school, you have access to the many journals and that the school has subscribed to. You also If you're not really on a school site, you can use Google Scholar, but 9 times out of 10 using Google Scholar, a lot of the articles and information you pull is going to cost you money to download. So that's why if you are in school and you have access to the school site, you should use that. Document your research. Excellent documentation helps decision makers evaluate the credibility of your report and use a system for documenting sources. So by documenting sources, you're showing that this came from a credible source, and those sources are experts that we can reach back to or review the work they've done and who's reviewed their scholarly work in order to understand the significance of their work or the significance of the message that they provided. So using online information for business research, some strategies always evaluate data quality and do more than just Google it. I mean, there's Google Scholar. Google Scholar is different than just plain Google, okay? Go to a reputable business and industry websites and conduct searches, find online discussions and forums about your selected topic, search beyond text-based information, and be persistent. Again, be fair. Apply the FAIR test to your research, data, and choices. So examine all the available facts and interpret them from the various perspectives. Don't make assumptions or draw conclusions. Don't mislead. Don't cherry pick data. Provide all the relevant facts, even if they don't fit into the convenient conclusions that you have. Grant access to your data. And remember the impacts of your data on others and present it with respect. Okay, so creating FAIR charts. Here are some FAIR charts here. All right, and that's it. That's it for chapter 12. Thank you so much for coming to me and working with me on these charts. And I want you to remember, as takeaways from this particular topic, there is Excel out there. There are ways to get to other sites so that you can use those sites as information to build your charts. Charts really do play a significant role. Now, I'm not going to lie, sometimes I get a little lazy on the charts, but I know that using Excel and some of the other sources are the best way to demonstrate research, especially for business people, because they don't have a lot of time. And in order to grab their attention, using charts is a more significant way instead of just using words. So that's it for chapter 12. We'll see you in chapter 13.